Kids parents, and also a special hello to all our Smiley Kids friends. Yes, it's story time again, and I have a very nice story to tell you today. The story's name is The Donkey and His Shadow. Guys, can you tell me what a shadow is? Do you know? Yes, we all have our own shadow, and everyone's shadow looks different. And a shadow is when you stand outside in the sun, then it reflects either on the wall or on the ground, a black outline of yourself. Yes, that is your shadow. And this story is all about a donkey's shadow. Let's let me read the story to you, and then you can see. So the story's name is The Donkey and His Shadow. So once upon a time, there was a boy, and his name was Peter, and he lived on a farm. And one morning, his mom asked him to go to town. Now, it was quite a long road to town, but he loved to walk it because he took his best friend with him. Yes, guys, he had a donkey, and he just loved his donkey, and they loved to walk to town together. So off the two went on their way to town. On the road, they found one of Peter's school friends, John. Poor John was very tired of walking, and he was sitting on the grass, tired, resting, waiting for someone to come past. He was very excited to see Peter, and he jumped up and said, "Hello, Peter, how are you?" And Peter was glad to see John and asked him, "Why is he sitting next to the road?" And John said, "Oh, I am very tired of walking, and I need to go to town to buy my mom some food and supplies." So Peter said, "Well, you can ride on my donkey, and then we can go to town together." So off the three of them went, and John was riding on the donkey. The sun was shining, guys. It was a very, very sunny day, and it was very hot. And Peter and John started sweating, and it was hot, and they felt very irritated and tired. The sun and the heat made them very tired. So they decided to stop next to the road and rest for a while. But there was no trees, guys, anywhere. So they had no shade to stand in, and the sun was burning them. Then Peter saw that the donkey had a shadow, and he decided, well, I can stand in the donkey's shadow, and that will help me cool down. And then John also wanted to stand in the shadow, and the two boys started fighting. Oh my goodness, screaming, shouting, and fighting about the donkey's shadow. John screaming, "I'm going to stand in the shadow," and Peter pushing him, saying, "No, I'm going to stand in the donkey's shadow. It's my donkey." And the two were just going on like crazy. The poor donkey got such a big fright. He did not like the boys fighting, and he decided, well, I'm going to town by myself to go and drink some water to cool me down. I'm not going to stay here while these boys are fighting. And the donkey turned around and he ran all the way to town all by himself, while the boys were still fighting and screaming. And then, guys, both of them realized that they were standing in the road all by themselves, just screaming at each other. "Where's my donkey?" Peter said. John said, "I don't know. We will have to go to town and try and find him." And both boys ran all the way to town. And luckily, when they got to town, they found the donkey at the water fountain. He was drinking water, relaxing, all cooled down. The boys were very ashamed of their behavior, and they looked at each other and they apologized. And they said sorry to each other and promised that they will never ever fight about such a silly thing. And they realized that they could just share the donkey's shadow. Both of them could have stood in the shadow, and both of them could have cooled down. It was really silly of them to fight. And the donkey was happy that they stopped fighting, and the boys bought all the supplies that they needed, and they walked back home that afternoon, happy, smiling, playing, and laughing. So, guys, Isn't that a nice story? And we can learn a really nice and good lesson from this story. Do you know what it is? Yes, sharing is caring. Guys, we should not fight with each other. Do not fight with your brother or your sister or your mommy or your daddy. Rather be kind and share your things. Share with each other. I always say in class, sharing is caring. And remember, if you can't say something nice to someone, rather keep quiet. That is the better thing to do. Remember, our words can really hurt others' feelings. So rather be kind and share and say nice things. So, what I want you to do today is to say something nice to each and every person that is in your house during lockdown. Think of something nice, loving, and kind to say. Wasn't that a nice story? Let's see if you can answer the easy questions. You can just shout out the answer. Let's see. What was the boy's name, the man's name? Yes, correct. His name was Peter. Okay, guys. And what animal did Peter have? What animal did he take to town with him? Correct. You are so clever. A donkey. He had a donkey. Yes. Okay, now next question. What was Peter's school friend name? The friend that they found sitting next to the road. Yes, correct. You are superstars. His name was John. Okay, guys, tell me, was it a rainy day or a sunny day? That's an easy one. It was a sunny day. Correct. It was very hot. What did Peter and John fight about? Think a little bit. Think back to the story. What did the two boys fight about? Correct. They fought about the donkey's shadow. Both of them wanted to stand in the shadow and then they started fighting. One more question. Where did the donkey go while the boys were fighting? Think a little bit. What did the donkey do? Correct. Yes. He ran away all the way to town to the water fountain where he could drink some water and cool down. That was such a nice story. I really enjoyed it. Now, guys, I would love you to draw us a picture. Draw us a beautiful picture of the story. Make sure you draw John and Peter and the donkey and everything you can remember about the story. And after that, please send me or your teacher the story, your pictures, and if you make any videos, we would love to see it. And remember that Steve will send each and every child a special message if you send us your pictures and your stories. Then, guys, now you can retell the story to mommy and daddy. Or you can pack out your toys in your room and then retell the story to them. I'm sure they will enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed the story with me, and I will see you next time. And until then, please stay home and stay safe. We miss you guys. Bye.